Hi, it's me again, Irish, your favorite widow. You know what? Hopefully that will change, but as of right now, this is your favorite widow, Irish. And I just wanted to go over some widow myths. Now, a little history. It has been 7 years since my husband passed away. I was on maternity leave from work with our second son. And everything that I talk about, these are just exact verbatim experiences, personal experiences. And I just want to share these with you. And whether you consider it a myth or if you consider it a truth for you, then so be it. You know, no need to agree to disagree. It is what it is. At the end of the day, for me, we are our own expert on our lives. You know what works for you, and you know what doesn't work for you. So I do hope that anything that I post, that you would do what you would do with any information. You would take it in, consider it, and see if it fits your life. Um, and then you approach it that way. So, as far as widow myths, number one, I have five. So, number one, what I heard a lot of, and I hear a lot of widows in so my support group say it will get better soon. Yes, myth number one: it will get better soon. Now that is true. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But when you are fresh in your grieving process, soon means like what, the next couple of hours. And then when it doesn't happen, then you hope for at least a month from now. When that doesn't happen, you hope for at least 6 months from now, right? And then when that doesn't happen, you're like, okay, it's been 1 year. It has to happen. And then you still feel that same sense of hurt, anger, all those emotions, um, foggy brain that comes with it. And I'll address, the emotions that we go through, some of them that I experienced in another video. But yeah, the myth that it will get better soon is a great thing to say, when you're offering your condolences. And it is true, it does get better. But for a widow or widower, better means as soon as possible, ASAP. And I would say that no matter how long it takes, if you're still feeling incomplete after 30 days, 60 days, a year, 2 years, three, then I would suggest that at some point get some help, talk to somebody. Because like I said, it will get better soon. That is a truth. But for a widow, it's more immediate, and that's when it becomes a myth. So I don't want people to feel like there's a certain time period, not people, widows or widowers think that there's a certain time period that this should get better. And also, because there isn't. Better is determined by each of us. It was 3 years before things began to clear up for me. So I want to keep you encouraged. It does get better. That is a truth. But for a widow, it's a myth because we want it now. All right. So I don't want you to define your grieving process or how long it takes based on what you think or feel other people say or suggesting that, hey, you should be over this. No. Remember, you are an expert on your own life. And if you don't feel like you're getting in progress, I say always talk to someone. Get it out. Remember that pressure statement, it'll bust a galvanized pipe. So number two, one of the things I used to get a lot was go back to work, be around people. Yes, that is true. But when you're grieving, for me, I didn't want to be around anyway. You know, I just wanted to do the bare minimum, pay my bills. Um, I tried going back to work and I was very distant, and the new responsibilities of a single parent. So it didn't work for me well at that time. So if you can, you know, fix your situation where you can heal, because grief is a tangible feeling. It's like a real wound that you can touch and it hurts and it needs time to heal. So if you can safely, um, you know, stay at home or not necessarily at home. I'm not encouraging you to go into hermit mode. Definitely don't do that. But don't feel rushed um, to do something outside of your comfort zone. Okay, I would suggest if you can, probably small down, make some adjustments in your expenses and your activities, so you can use that time to take some therapy classes or sessions and things like that, talk. And for me, spend time with the children and everything like that. So don't be rushed or feel like you have to go back to work or you have to be you know around a lot of people. But definitely do not go into hermit mode. Do not isolate yourself. That is not healthy at all. Understand you are your own expert, and seek expert help as well. And that's a lot of it out there. Number 3, what I used to get all the time, myth. She looks good, so she must be doing good. Once again, true statement. Because remember, I always said right after my husband passed away, I was in subconscious mode. I was used to keeping my hair done. I was used to dressing nicely, you know. So when he passed away, it was like subconscious mode kicked back in. I was still able to do that. But was I doing good? No. Had they looked a little bit, actually, you didn't have to look hard. If you looked genuinely at me, they would have said I was deeply hurting. And when people say these things, they kind of refrain from doing or giving more of themselves, because I would have greatly benefited from even family members being there physically, or either by phone to call to see how I was doing, or come by and cut my grass, because I never did lawn work prior to my husband, passing. I had 2 sons at this moment, so it was like, hey, you want me to take your sons to the barbershop? Because I'm telling you, ladies, barbershop is a culture. You got to learn it. I'll make a video on it. Also, number 4, what I have wrong. She doesn't need my help because I know she got money from the insurance. Now, grant you, depending on your situation, if you're, prepared, then there is a financial windfall. But for a widow, for me at least, it wasn't. Yes, there were insurance payouts. My husband and I were very, your average practical thinking couple. We made necessary arrangements prior to. So, with that being said, it was just, I remember feeling when I received a letter of condolences from our insurance company, letting me know, like, hey, this is what you're to expect. And when I received the first payment, I was devastated. Everybody else around me was probably like, when I say everybody, anyone outside of myself and my children and, my mother-in-law, things like that, immediate family, they was like, oh, okay, she got to be doing well, No, because that money meant it was the real deal. See, for a very long time, I held on to this illusion that, hey, at some point my husband's going to come back. And that payment kind of solidified that he wouldn't. So that was one of the most darkest days after my husband Chris passed away. I literally sat on it for like months. I think one company sent me a letter stating, if it was lost or something to that effect. So, no, yeah, a letter, and then they actually called me. So, large payouts does not equate healing. It does not mean go out and make any large purchases or making a large investments. And I'll make a video about that because unfortunately, family members and friends and all of a sudden they have these aha moments, these investment ideas, or these certain serious emergencies, and they seek your financial help. And I'll address that separately. But also know that you do as you need. I would suggest do not make any major purchases. Do not make any radical moves, because at the end of the day, what were they going to do before you come into this amount of money? Okay. And it helps keep the family whole if you don't react, because like I said, eventually things are going to clear up, and you want things to settle and you want things to be peaceful. Because if it's not, when things settle, you're going to start to think like, hey, hold up. At my most vulnerable, you did this. And that can create a very unhealthy situation very quickly. All right. Another myth. All right. Number 5, move closer to family. All right. So that was the suggestion given to me and everybody around me. Well, you have the children, and of course I have the only grandchildren on my husband's side and mine. You need to move closer to family and things of that nature. The support would be great, right? But I would suggest before you do it, don't. Like I said, now, if it calls for you to move closer to family for, a true physical need of support, and financial support, then definitely do what you have to do. They should help you in that process physically and financially to make that move, and emotionally, and for me, I have children. So remember, those radical changes doesn't just reverberate with us, the adults, but it also hurts the children. It affects them. Okay. I know a lot of times people say children are resilient. Yes, they are, but they are emotional and human beings like us. So that was just it. 5 myths, which are truths, but when you look at it through the lens of a widow or widowers, it's not quite what it looks like, right? So remember, number 1, it gets better soon. It is the truth. It does. But for a widow, we want it right then, right? So understand, it does get better, but it takes time, and it's a process. All right. 2, go back to work. If you have to, then do it. But be patient with yourself and ask that those around you be patient. All right. And if you don't, maybe try to find some form of bridge work. A lot of people are driving for Lyft and Uber, creating work from home, creating their own schedules. Okay. 3, she looks good, so she must be doing good, right? Okay, true. You look good. You're doing, but you're not doing as good. You're not feeling good. You're not thinking right. You get what I'm saying? So understand that it's okay to not feel good, and it's okay to just one day say, you know what, I'm just gonna throw for me a baseball cap and call it a day. Now, of course, if I'm going out, I would dress the part, but be in control of your own situation. All right. And number 4, she doesn't need my help because she got that financial windfall. Don't give in to that. Don't loan out any money. Don't make any large investments. If anything, if you're not used to this type of income, I mean, I'm sorry, not income, money, seek you out a certified financial advisor. All right, because they can put barriers in place to help safeguard your finances for you and your children, and hope and a lot of times save a family. All right, number five, move close to family. Do so if you have to. I would suggest, especially with children, because wherever they are, that's their element. All right, so that would be great if those that are encourage you to move closer to them, and if they could move closer to you to support, to provide support for you and your family. All right. I am sure this helps. This is just some of the things that I have experienced in my process. And once again, it gets better, and you have to be intentional on your joy, and it's out there free to get, you know. And I pray that you regain your joy, your peace, and your wholeness. All right. Love you. Bye.